National security concerns are also at the heart of another new administration initiative targeting foreign influence within U.S. borders. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins announced this week that the United States will be moving to ban Chinese ownership of American farmland. During a press conference alongside Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, Rollins stated the administration will use a combination of executive actions and cooperation with states to prohibit the purchase of U.S. agricultural land by China and nationals of other adversary nations. The move is being framed as a critical step to protect the nation's food supply and strategic assets from potential foreign threats. However, Secretary Rollins acknowledged a significant limitation to the new policy. During a call with reporters, she confirmed that there is no current mechanism for her agency to retroactively take back farmland that is already owned by Chinese or other foreign buyers, stating that the USDA is not in a role to be able to do that. The administration has also taken aim at energy policy, signing another executive order that directly impacts the renewable energy sector. On July 7th, President Trump signed an order directing his administration to end federal subsidies for solar and wind energy facilities. The order targets what the White House calls preferential treatment for these sources over more traditional, dispatchable energy. In the order, President Trump stated that renewable energy sources are expensive, compromise the nation's electric grid, and threaten national security due to their unreliability and dependence on foreign-controlled supply chains. This executive action is designed to enforce a key provision of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which was signed into law on July 4th. That law effectively ends renewable energy tax credits after 2026 for any new projects that have not yet begun construction. Under the new rules, wind and solar projects that do start construction after that date must be placed in service by the end of 2027 to qualify for any remaining credits. This marks a significant shift from previous law, under which developers could have claimed a 30% tax credit on projects through 2032. Meanwhile, a contentious debate over healthcare policy is intensifying, as a coalition of pro-life medical groups is now urging the federal government to re-examine its broad approval of abortion drugs. In a letter sent to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. and FDA Commissioner Martin Makary, 6 anti-abortion medical organizations, representing approximately 30,000 professionals, are calling for new scrutiny of the abortion pill mifepristone. The groups, which include the American Association of Pro-Life OB-GYNs and the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine, cite 2 recent reports they say show the drug is causing serious harm at an alarming rate. These studies claim that based on an analysis of health insurance records, as many as 1 out of every 9 women using mifepristone suffered a serious adverse event, such as hemorrhage, sepsis, or an incomplete abortion requiring surgical intervention. The letter states this suggests the risk of serious complications may be 22 times higher than previously disclosed by the FDA. The organizations are urging the FDA to reinstate safety protocols that were removed under the Biden administration, which had significantly expanded access by allowing the drugs to be obtained via telemedicine and mail. The groups are asking for the reinstatement of rules limiting the drug's use to 7 weeks of gestation, requiring in-person dispensing by a physician, and mandating follow-up appointments. They also stress that ultrasounds are essential to accurately confirm the gestational age of the fetus. The letter argues that women deserve to know the true risks before giving informed consent. This push has been met with strong counter-arguments. Planned Parenthood states on its website that chemical abortion is safer than common medicines like Tylenol or Viagra. After the new studies were released, some public health experts disputed the findings, citing a lack of transparency and the absence of a comparison group. The drug's manufacturer has also stated that it stands confidently behind the product's established safety and efficacy record. The American Medical Association has previously defended mifepristone, stating that hundreds of peer-reviewed studies demonstrate its safety, which it has compared to that of ibuprofen. This latest call for review ensures that the debate over the drug's safety and accessibility will remain a central and fiercely contested issue. The Supreme Court on Tuesday allowed the Trump administration to move forward, at least for now, with its plans to implement large-scale cuts to the federal workforce. In a 6-3 decision, the justices granted an emergency request from the White House, issuing a stay that lifts a lower court's injunction against the administration's executive order. The order, known as Executive Order 110, directs federal agencies to carry out sweeping reductions in force and reorganizations. Administration officials have described it as a lawful effort to streamline government and eliminate waste. However, critics, including labor unions and local governments, argue the president is unlawfully bypassing Congress to dismantle major parts of the federal government. The Supreme Court's majority stressed in an unsigned opinion that it was not ruling on the legality of specific agency cuts, only on the executive order itself. The court stated that the government is likely to succeed in defending the legality of the order. This decision sets aside a California district court's block from May. In a forceful dissent, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson wrote that this court sees fit to step in now and release the president's wrecking ball at the outset of this litigation. She warned the action represents a structural overhaul that usurps Congress's policymaking prerogatives. The executive order has instructed agencies to prepare plans for eliminating roles deemed non-critical, with some proposals reportedly calling for cuts of over 50% at the Department of Energy and nearly 90% at the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. The case will now continue to play out in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. The executive order on the federal workforce is one of several major new policies taking effect following the recent passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. On Monday, Border Czar Tom Homan said that Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, will significantly ramp up arrests of illegal immigrants. Homan stated that funding from the new bill will be used for increased enforcement efforts, including in so-called sanctuary cities like New York City. President Trump signed the nearly 900-page bill into law on July 4th. The legislation provides for the hiring of 10,000 more ICE officers and substantially expands detention capacity. It secures funding for 80,000 new beds in the agency's detention centers, bringing the total capacity to 100,000. Homan also confirmed that a portion of the funding provided under the comprehensive bill is allocated for the construction of more sections of the wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. This signals a major escalation in immigration enforcement operations nationwide in the coming weeks and months.